Hey there folks, Mantaray79 here, and today I'm back with another deck profile video for the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game. In today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be doing one for is D standard formats, Dragon Empires, Dragonic Overlord. This deck will be comprised of cards from D-Booster 1, D-Booster 2, D-Booster 3, and D-Booster 4. Alright then, let's get started. First off, the Ride deck. The cards in this Ride deck are the starting unit, Grade 0, Lizard Runner Undu. The Grade 1, Embodiment of Armor, Bar. The Grade 2, Dragon Knight, Nihalim. And the Grade 3, Dragonic Overlord. The starting unit, Grade 0, Lizard Runner Undu. Like any other starting unit in the D standard format, he features only one skill. When ridden on top of, if you're the second to go to Grade 1, you get to draw a card. The Grade 1, Embodiment of Armor, Bar. As a Vanguard, his skill is, when ridden on top of by Dragon Knight Nihalim, by paying 1 counterblast, you can search your deck for any Grade 1 unit and add it straight to your hand. Ideally, this skill is used to add either a Perfect Guard or any Grade 1 unit whose skill can support your personal playstyle or strategy later in the game straight to your hand. The Grade 2, Dragon Knight Nihalim. As a Vanguard, his skill is, when ridden on top of by Dragonic Overlord, you can superior call this card from your soul to your rear guard, securing yourself a Nihalim whose rear guard skill will support your Vanguard Overlord later. And finally, the main card of this deck, Grade 3, Dragonic Overlord. His skills are, when attacking an opponent's rear guard, the opponent cannot guard that attack with any cards from their hand, thus making this card's attack on an opponent's rear guard almost unblockable. And his other skill is, after making a successful attack, by paying 1 counterblast, discarding 1 card from your hand, and reducing this card's drive check by 1, you can restand your Vanguard Overlord for another attack. Alright then, that just about covers it for the Ride deck. Next, let's go to the main deck. For the main deck, let's start off with the Grade 1 lineup. The Grade 1s in this deck are 3. Embodiment of Armor, Bars. 2. Sharp Armor Dragon, Gates Fort. 4. Sentinel, Perfect Guard, Grade 1, Twin Buckler Dragons. The Grade 1, Embodiment of Armor, Bar. As a rear guard, his skill is, after your Vanguard makes a successful attack, your rear guard Bar gets plus 5,000 power till the end of the turn, thus making Bar a 13,000 power attacker or a 13,000 power booster from the back row. Grade 1, Sharp Armor Dragon, Gates Fort. His skill is, from the back row rear guard circles, when you're retired an opponent's rear guard, you can restand Gates Fort and give it plus 2,000 power. Ideally, This card is more or less a D standard format remake of V standard format's Heatshot Dragon, because with this skill, he can serve as a booster for your Vanguard Overlord after it restands and attacks again. The Great One, Sentinel, Perfect Guard, Twin Buckler Dragon. Like any other Perfect Guard in this game, by paying one card from your hand, you can use this card to block almost any attack. But it also has an additional skill. When placed in the Guardian Circle, if you have 2 or less cards in hand, you won't have to pay the usual hand cost to perform a Perfect Guard. Alright, that just about covers it for the Grade 1 lineup. Next, let's go to this deck's Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s in this deck, there are 3. Dragon Knight Nihilums, 4. Berserk Dragons, 3. Lava Wire Dragons, 3. Steel Bullet Duststorm Ethan, 'The Grade 2, Dragon Knight Nihilum. As a rear guard, his skill is, by paying 1 Soul Blast, the Nihilum paying for the skill and your Vanguard Overlord get plus 5,000 power till the end of the turn. Though the effect is not stackable on his own, it is stackable on Overlord if you've managed to call multiple Nihilums onto your rearguard circles. Thus, by paying the costs over and over with each Nihilum in your rearguard, your Vanguard's power will get continuously increased. The Grade 2, Berserk Dragon. His skills are, when attacking, if your Vanguard is an Overlord, he gets plus 5,000 power, and then, by paying 1 Counterblast, you can retire one of your opponent's Grade 2 or less rear guards, effectively making Berserk Dragon a 15,000 power attacker and a rear guard retirer for Overlord decks. The Grade 2, Lava Wire Dragons. His skill is, activated only on the front row rearguard circles. As long as he is in your front row rearguard, all your attacking units have the option of attacking an opponent's back row rearguard unit in the same column as the attacking one, thus making this card more or less an effective replacement for the order card, Flame Dragon Bombardment. Then, the Grade 2, Steel Bullet Duststorm Ethan. His skill is, after your Vanguard makes a successful attack, by retreating this card from your rearguard, you can countercharge 1 and draw 1. Though most people I know who play Dragon Empire Dragonic Overlord prefer to use Dragon Monk Gojo, personally I find Ethan far superior. Because as many of you know, Gojo's skill is, after boosting a successful attack from your Vanguard, by retreating the Gojo that boosted, you can countercharge 1, while Ethan says only when your Vanguard's attack hits, regardless of where you put Ethan, you can retreat your rearguard Ethan, countercharge 1, and also draw an extra card. Though no offense to Gojo and players like to prefer Gojo, I find Ethan far more preferable and usable in the D standard format's Dragon Empire's Dragonic Overlord deck. Alrighty then, that just about covers it for this deck's Grade 2 lineup. Next, let's go to the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s in this deck are 3. Dragonic Overlords, 3. Penetrate Dragon Tribash, 2. Grade 3, Blitz Order, Wind of Apocalypse. Oops. Sorry about that. It's kind of hard to manage these cards with these gloves on. But I think we can all admit that the cards and my hand holding the cards look way cooler with these gloves on. Anyone who agrees with me that it looks cooler to hold and handle cards with gloves on, feel free to set a comment on my video. Anyway, first off, the Grade 3 Dragonic Overlord. Like I mentioned before, his skill as a Vanguard and Rearguard is, when attacking an opponent's rear guard, the opponent cannot guard that attack using any cards from their hand, making any attack from Vanguard, from your Overlord to an opponent's rear guard, almost unblockable. Thus, aside from being a great Vanguard, Overlord from your rear guard can also make a great front row attacker for any opponent rear guards to wipe out your opponent's formation or lineup. The Grade 3 Penetrate Dragon Tribash. His skill is, when your Vanguard attacks, you can move, if you have more rear guards than your opponent, you can move Tribash from your rear guard to the soul, giving the attacking Vanguard +1 critical till the end of the battle. Thus, making Tribash a good way to increase your Vanguard's critical and decisive moments, and a way to restock your Vanguard soul to use Nehalem's Soul Blasting and Powering Up skill. Next, Grade 3, Blitz Order, Wind of Apocalypse. Its skill is, by playing this order card, if your Vanguard is an Overlord, you can choose one unit on your field and it gets 20,000 power, thus making this card a more effective and powerful version of the Grade 2 order card, Burn Bright Pure Prayers. So that just about covers it for this deck's Grade 3 lineup. Next, we go to the triggers. First, let me clear these up. For the triggers on this deck, I'm using one Over trigger, Dragon Deity, King of Resurgence, Drag Vita. Four, Burning Flail Dragons, critical trigger. 2, Conduct Spark Dragon, critical trigger. 2, Blaze Maiden Zones, critical trigger. 3, Flare Veil Dragons, draw trigger. 'And finally, 4, Blaze Maiden Rona's, heal triggers. The Over trigger, Dragon Deity, King of Resurgence, Drag Vita. Its skill is, like any other Over trigger, when revealed in a drive check or damage check, one unit on your field gets +1 million power and you get to draw a card. Also, its own personal skill is, when revealed during a drive check, you can stand your Vanguard, so guaranteeing yourself more drive checks or more attacks from your Vanguard, which you can all admit it's ideal. The critical trigger, Burning Flail Dragon. After boosting attack, you can move this card from your rear guard to your soul, giving any other unit on the field +2000 power, so it can be used as a good way to restock your soul, like for Dragon Knight Nehalem, or for giving your remaining attacks a little more power and in order to increase its likelihood of hitting. Then the draw triggers, Flare Veil Dragon. Its skill is, when guarding, if your Vanguard is a Grade 3 or above, this guy's shield gets +5000. So making it a better defensive card than most draw triggers in this game and D standard format. And with that, the trigger lineup for this deck is 1 over trigger, 4, 6, 8 critical triggers, 3 draw triggers, and 4 heal triggers. I repeat, the triggers of this deck are 1 over trigger, 8 critical triggers, 3 draw triggers, and 4 heal triggers. And with that, that just about covers it for this video and today's deck profile. So first off, I want to thank the viewers for watching today's video, and maybe I could ask you to show your support by liking, commenting, sharing on my videos, and maybe subscribing to my channel. And I hope you all stay tuned for any other videos I plan to put up in the near future. And with that, I say goodbye and see you all soon.